an original presentation from America's premier audio theater group, Seeing Ear Theater.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces via Japan. No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory.
Pre-flight check.
Roger. Pre-flight check is completed. We are ready for takeoff. Give us the flare control.
Roger that. Stand by.
War breeds strange pastimes. Mindless pastimes. Some of the boys play poker. Me? I climb Mount Lasso and stack pebbles. 1 pebble for each B-29 takeoff until I make a cairn for each mission. My largest cairn has 400 stones in it. Trust me, it beats poker.
509 permission readiness first test flight.
Ready control.
Strike plane primary team secured.
Roger.
Colonel Tibbets, what is the name of your bird?
The Enola Gay.
Roger that, Tibbets. You are free on runway Baker.
What the world doesn't know, can't know, is that after this test flight, the Enola Gay is going to drop one hell of a gimmick on Japan. I call it a gimmick because the word bomb would be too nice for this latest achievement in technology. The mission is classified and we haven't been told too much about it. Whatever type of bomb it is, that gimmick's not natural. It's a chemical bomb of some sort, but I don't know more than that. What I do know is that I should be the bomber in the Enola Gay right now, and thanks to Colonel Tibbets, I'm not.
The flare is away, gentlemen. You are set.
Roger, Tom. Thank you.
I guess that's one more stone for the cairn.
Hey, January, come have a shot.
Jim Fitch is a bulky, pig-eyed thug. He's our pilot. He and the rest of the men of the Lucky Strike, that's the name of our B-29, came up to Mount Lasso to watch the takeoff. We'd all rather be primary team. I can see the look in the boys as they watch the B-29 taxi on the runway. I wander down and take hold of the flask that Fitch is offering.
Practicing your bombing up there, eh, Professor?
Yeah. Anyone who reads more than the funnies is Professor to Fitch.
That's why he's the best. Always practicing.
Lieutenant Matthews, he's the best because I make him be the best. Isn't that right, Professor?
It has nothing to do with you, Fitch. I'm the best because I want it that way. I work my ass off for it. I frown and walk over to get a better look at Baker Runway. I play with a smooth pebble in my hand. Our navigator, Matthews, is a nice, honest-faced kid. Not like Fitch or Haddock. Should have been us up there, guys.
Nah, Tibbets plays his favorites, you know that. He convinced General LeMay to let his crew take her up.
Hey, you watch your mouth. Tibbets don't play favorites.
If Tibbets doesn't play favorites, then why isn't January there? You know he's the best bombardier in the 509th. You can't argue that.
I should be the one to drop it. Should be me in the nose, not Farabee. I can see the other bombardier in the nose of the Enola Gay. It's not fair, but then, whatever is in war. I angle a rock over an ant on the ground and drop it, crushing the bugger.
Will you cut that out? I swear, you must hang from the ceiling when you take a shit so you can practice aiming for the toilet.
Don't I bunk over you? They're going.
That gay sure is a looker.
Hey, Haddock, what do you think Tibbets will do to the General's man on board the test flight?
He'll kill an engine at takeoff. I bet you anything. He'll want to show he wouldn't go down if it happened to him.
Of course he wouldn't.
You hope.
They let those red engines out of the factory too soon. They didn't do enough tests on them. They keep busting under the takeoff load.
Won't matter to the old bull. Look!
Yeah, Tibbets can fly loops around anyone else. He has the stuff. Yeah, I told you he'd do it.
He's cut number 3, too.
Holy smoke! Ain't that old bull something?
Oh, by God, the General's man is going to remember this flight. Oh, look at that. Spanking. How's he going to manage with only one engine?
Suddenly, it's no laughing matter, and I'm up there with Farabee, the bombardier. I can see it in my mind. The view over the pilot's shoulders. I can hear the confusion and shouting.
Pull her up! I'm trying.
The 2 right props spin, blur to a shimmer. They need more lift. Tibbets tries to pull it over the island.
Oh, my God.
In my mind, I was up there with the crew. Right up to the end, I heard their desperate shouts, saw the last green rush of trees through the windshield, and I was stunned by the dentist drill all over pain of the impact. No, I have to shake out of it. Have to get there in case anyone had managed to survive the impact. Come on! There was no poker tonight, no stacking stones either. The others are talking among themselves in hushed voices.
I don't know. Who do you think they're going to get to fly the plane?
Maybe if we talk to the colonel.
Me, I'm standing in the door of this godforsaken Quonset barracks with corrugated steel sides and roof, listening to the jungle breathe. I'm trying not to listen to the guys, but I can't help it.
January's the best bombardier left, and I'm as good as Lewis was.
Yeah, but so's Sweeney, and he's in with Scholes.
They're figuring out who will take over the strike, now that Tibbets and the rest are a good 12 hours dead. Jockeying for position, lobbying for a chance to get in on the action. I grab a shirt despite the heat and head out of the barracks.
Hey, Professor, where are you going?
Out. It's midnight, but still sweltering. I light a cigarette, watch the dark MPs patrolling our fenced-in compound. The MPs, they're like armbands, and the 509th, we're prisoners in our own army. Fitch, Matthews, Haddock, just kids. Their minds have been shaped by this war. They learn real fast what happens to guys who mourn the dead too long. You can't carry a load like that around with you, or your own engines might fail. I suppose it's natural if you're a kid with a mind shaped by fanatics like Tibbets. But I'm not a kid, and Tibbets never cracked my mind. And that gimmick's not natural. But it looks like Fitch is right. I am the best. And I was before Tibbets got me kicked out of the running. I got a record of pinpoint accuracy in the runs over the Salton Sea to prove it. Proof that I'm good, and proof of my contempt for Tibbets' favorites. Well, it's a moot point now. Tibbets is dead. And Fitch is right. As much as I don't want to admit it, the kid's right.
Hey, you.
Oh. Hey. Just taking a break.
Yeah. Listen, if today hit a little too close to home and all, you know, what happened to Audrey in London?
Nah, you worry too much. I'm hot and it stinks in there. Fitch needs a dunk and some soap.
No, that king was mine. Hey, did you bring me anything, Professor?
Nope.
Hey, what are you reading now? Let me see. Winter's Tales by Isaac Denison.
No big text and pictures for you.
Pretty racy, eh?
You bet. This guy put sex on every page.
Yeah.
I climb up into my bunk to get lost in the book. Ever since I was a kid, I could open up the cover of a book and forget about things around me. But not tonight, despite my best intentions. Bright and early the next morning, Colonel Scholes, Tibbet's superior, comes knocking at our door. I see him, and immediately I know why he's here, though the others only suspect it.
Briefing at 11. Be there early. Fitch, January Matthews, come with me. I've spent most of the night on the radio with General LeMay. We've decided you're to be the first crew to make the strike. Think you can do it?
Of course. Yes, sir.
Sure.
Okay. McDonald will be flying with you as co-pilot. See you at the briefing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
My heart's pounding on my sternum, but I make sure not to stick out. When the colonel's out of sight, Fitch and Matthews let loose.
Yeah!
We did it!
Yeah, not too bad. I don't know about McDonald, though.
Hey, don't worry about it. You're in! We did it!
Somebody did it, anyway.
Ah, Frank, show some spunk. You're always so cool.
Yeah, old Professor Stone Face. Come on, let's get to the briefing.
Inside one of the larger Quonset huts, men are packed together for a briefing.
Let's sit near the front. I want a good look. Think it's smoky enough in here? I can barely make out the blackboards.
Is that a map of Japan or the latest centerfold of a girly magazine on the wall? Now look, there's Brown-Noser Captain Shepard.
Who?
You know, the naval officer who worked with the scientists on the gimmick. Where's his lackey, Lieutenant Stone? Ah, there. Hope he winds that reel of film onto the projector the right way. Don't you know they get special training for that in the science division?
I sit down, trying to ignore Fitch and his usual run-of-the-mouth crap. Why's Dr. Nelson here?
He's watching us, like a good psychiatrist. We're lab rats.
I slide along the bench until I reach the others. Fitch leans in.
Yeah, there's the Brits we outclassed. They were supposed to fly the gadget, but look at them now. I never seen a Brit look so furious.
Light 'em up, boys.
Fitch and the rest pull out their lucky strikes and light up. I'm the only one in the pack who still smokes Camels.
Here's to the lucky strike.
Here, here.
They named our B-29 the Lucky Strike, so now the boys all smoke 'em. They think it's the greatest idea since Bubbles.
Men, these are the target cities. In order of priority, they are Hiroshima, Kokura, and Nagasaki. There will be 3 weather scouts straight flush to Hiroshima, strange cargo to Kokura, and full house to Nagasaki. The great artiste, and number 91, will be accompanying the mission to take photos, and Lucky Strike will fly the bomb. All right, now listen up. The weapon we're going to deliver was successfully tested stateside a couple of weeks ago, and now we've got orders to drop it on the enemy. I'll let Captain Shepard tell you more.
Shepard's usual swagger doesn't make up for his forehead, which is covered in sweat. It's shiny, and his eyes are bright with excitement. Or maybe nervousness. I take a glance over at the psychiatrist to see what he makes of it. But Dr. Nelson's face is completely impassive.
Gentlemen, I'm going to come right to the point. The bomb you're going to drop is something new in history. We think it'll knock out everything within 4 miles.
The room's so still I can't even hear anyone breathing, including myself. That's because I'm holding my breath and feeling sick. That reeling kind of sickness where you can see too much of your eyes, nose, and cheeks, like you're receding into your body, like a fox into a hole. I watch Shepard because I can't take my eyes off him.
Now, as soon as we get this screen set up again, good. Now, I'm going to show you a film of the only test we've made. Stone, go ahead and start the film. All right. Now, you'll see this dead, gray landscape. A lot of sky, smooth desert floor, and those hills in the distance. The bomb is on top of the tower. It's a good 8 or 10 miles away from the camera.
Shepard points to a pin-like object. His shadow makes a large, devilish figure against the bleak landscape. He's right about the distance. I had it calculated before he even pointed it out. I'm good at distances. It's part of my job. I'm still squinting to see this pin-like tower. When the screen goes white for a second, it even brightens the room and we all have to squint till it's over. The picture returns to normal after a few seconds, and then the desert floor is filled with a bloom of fire. The fireball coalesces, and then it leaps off the earth all the way into the stratosphere. God.
Like a tracer bullet leaving a machine gun, trailing a whitish pillar of smoke behind it.
As a creature of habit, I immediately calculate the size of that cloud. No way.
Did you see how huge that thing is?
It can't be that big. I've got it wrong. Tell me I got it wrong. There's no way.
I don't know, January. Damn, that thing's huge.
The picture flickers. The screen goes white again, as if the camera's melted, or that part of the world's come apart. But it's just the end of the film. The projector's already stopped. The air's sucking in and out of my mouth like I'm a fish yanked out of water. The lights come on.
That's...
I glance around and see the other guys just like me. Faces bloodless, eyes blinking, mouths either open in shock or squeezed shut with fear. I looked at the psychiatrist again, sitting up there completely undisturbed. We were all letting it out now.
Damn, would you look at that. Never seen something else.
Oh, it's big, all right. And no one knows what'll happen when it's dropped from the air. But that mushroom cloud you just saw will go at least 30,000 feet and probably 60. And the flash you saw at the beginning was hotter than the sun.
Hotter than the sun. I was right about the cloud's height, too. I spent my life priding myself on my accuracy. But I didn't want to be that accurate. Not with this. Not at all.
Officer Smith is passing out your tinted goggles. Now you want to set the opacity dials and get them adjusted for the flight. They will protect your eyes from the glare. Without them, you risk permanent blindness.
The goggles get passed down to me, and I take a pair in my hand. They're like welder's glasses. I twiddle with the dial.
You're the hottest thing in the armed forces now, so no talking, even among yourselves. Let's do it the way Colonel Tibbets would have wanted us to. He handpicked every one of you because you're the best. And now's the time to show he was right, so let's make the old man proud.
All right, briefing's over. Fitch, January.
Yes, sir.
Stone and I will be flying with you to take care of the bomb.
All right. You know how many strikes we'll fly before we drop?
As many as it takes. But it'll only take one. Isn't that right, January?
Yes, sir. No. Where am I? There are walls of fire. My head hurts. I can't make much out. It's as if God's camera went off in my face, leaving a blue-white blur. Like the sun swooped down and touched the ground.
Help me. Help us. Please, Father.
They're all following me. They're burnt, charred, and black. There's only one who can speak. I can barely hear him. I try to point to my ears. I try to touch them, but I can't. I can't touch my own ears. But he seems to call me Father. That's the only word I can make out. I feel the collar at my neck. priest collar, and it's hot and black and clinging. I find shade under a tree. I tell everyone to rest. I'm resting, trying to find a way to save the huddled masses of charred bodies following, pressing against me. The fear is trying to run over top of me. It's a park. The empty tree shades my skin where the black garment has burnt into my flesh. And around me, people crouch under bushes like wild animals, frightened at any sound, but they stare at me. When I move, they move with me. They follow me. I walk on, stumbling, until I come to a riverbed at the far end of the park. I gesture for them to quench their burning bodies in the river. Red and black figures, burnt and blistered, are crowding into the water. But the water is steaming, and it does no good. I hear something. I see a finger gesturing at me from a copse of bamboo. I stumble closer and... Water. I need water. Help me. They're faceless. Their eyes have melted. Their mouths are holes. I can barely make out what they're trying to say to me. One mimes drinking. They're half dead. Their flesh is falling off, and yet they are thirsty. I'll get you some water. I go to the river in search of a bucket. I have to help them. I can't leave them like this. I search for a bucket, but I cannot see. I stumble over bodies. I fall against burnt flesh, and I realize I'm in the river. It's boiling. The river is filled with bodies, filled with bodies. The river is filled. The river is filled with bodies, bodies, burnt bodies. Ah! I'm in my bunk, drenched in rank sweat. Got the taste of dirt in my mouth. My stomach feels like a knot of horror, and my heart's crushed between my lungs. I can't breathe.
January? You up?
Yeah. God, it stinks. It stinks like the rotting flowers in here. Rotting like the bodies in the river.
What? What river?
It was a dream. Go back to sleep. I grab my cigarettes and hop off the bunk, getting out into the compound for some air. I can't risk talking out loud in front of the other guys or dreaming in there either like this. I gotta pull myself together. God, my hands are shaking. I gotta relax. It's the middle of the night. No one's awake. I got time to relax. Get hold of yourself. Jeez. Yeah, what if Dr. Nelson saw you like this? Nelson. No, Nelson is asleep. Damn psychiatrists, they're all asleep. That really is the point, isn't it? So when did I finally wake up and start thinking about what was going on around me? Audrey. I woke up the day Audrey's flat was bombed. Audrey, I brought you these.
Cornflowers are my very favorite. How did you know?
I overheard you talking to Cecilia the other day.
Clever Frank, always eavesdropping. Not that I mind at all.
How was the war today?
We have so many good men wounded. It's getting worse out there. You know, when I went into medical training, I thought I'd be able to help people. I wanted to make a difference. Today, I couldn't even help one man.
I disagree. You're helping this one.
You know, I've been wondering what you'll do after the war. Sometimes I think you'd be a poet or a writer.
I'd like to think that maybe I'd be married after the war.
Is that a hint?
Would you like it to be? Then I'll take that as a yes.
I'd better put these flowers in some water. I have the perfect vase. They are lovely. I'm putting them on the table where I can wake up to them every morning. It will remind me of you. was your day?
I have some bad news. I've been given leave, and I know you won't get yours right away, so I wanted to let you know. I'm heading back to Vicksburg. My parents need some help. They're getting old. But I don't want you to think that I'm...
Cutting out on me?
Something like that, yes.
Don't be foolish. When I phoned your parents on holiday, they were the nicest people I've ever met. They make my parents look positively dreadful. Go help them and say hello for me. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Here, take these keys to the flat for when you return.
I took the spare keys to her flat and gave her a kiss on the forehead, a gentle reminder that I'd be back in 2 weeks. I held onto the keys like they were a token of the future. They were always in my breast pocket. As long as they were with me, I knew I was coming back to something good. There wouldn't be time for a return, and there would never be another opportunity for us again. Audrey's flat was destroyed the first time the Germans bombed London. Completely leveled. She wasn't working when it happened. No, I imagine she was inside listening to her radio. That's the day I woke up. I didn't even have time to grieve. News came right after the flat's destruction that I was going to be transferred to a very hot assignment on Tinian Island. Even if the Nazis had missed Audrey's flat, even if she'd managed to survive, I couldn't be with her. But she hadn't survived. I couldn't even go to her funeral. Hello, Doc. I'm here for my psychiatric review.
Yes, hello, Frank. Good to see you. Now, it says here you went on leave recently, back to Vicksburg. How are your folks?
They're fine, sir. Fine.
Oh, that's good. What an honor, you boys getting to take your own plane. The Lucky Strike, you call it? Huh, good pun. Smart name. Now, I understand you'll be heading over to Japan to drop a new kind of bomb. That's a big responsibility, Frank. How do you feel about all this?
Just like I always have, sir. Fine.
Eating well?
Better than ever.
Sleeping well?
As well as I can in this humidity. I got used to Utah, I'm afraid. I'm lying to him. I've hardly slept since that dream. I'm afraid of sleep. Can't he see that?
And let me ask you, how do you feel about being part of the crew chosen to make the first strike?
Well, it was the right choice, I reckon. We're the best crew left.
Do you feel sorry about Tibbet's crew accident?
Yes, sir, I do. You better believe it. He opens the door for me after the intensive interview, if you could call it that. I sat through several jokes, and now he's done with me. I walk out into the hot sun and light up a cigarette. I turn around and wave goodbye to him. He smiles back with a toothy grin and a friendly wave. Ounce brain. Why couldn't he have seen? Because it's painfully easy to fool someone when you want to, that's why. God, the sun's hot today. Like it's gonna touch down to the ground and melt us all. I don't want to do this. I quit. I could go up to the men right now and say it if I wanted to. I could get out right now.
Coward. Can't handle it.
I don't understand. God, he was so good and so cool, level-headed, you know? What would make a man like that go yellow?
He's a filthy coward. Glad he's gone.
No. I won't give him the benefit of calling me a coward. I got too much contempt for the lot of them. I forget the idea and stubbornly banish the whole damn thought. Easier to go along with it.
You got your gear?
Yeah, of course I got my gear, Mom. What about you?
These goggles, they're something else.
It's odd the way you notice everyday motions differently, like getting dressed when you're off to demolish a city.
Parachute harness, first aid kit, survival vest, and coveralls. I am set to go.
Yeah, but you forgot to tie your shoes.
Huh?
Ha! Made you look.
You son of a...
Hey, come on, Professor. Big day's here.
I'm in.
Hey, get moving.
Colonel, what runway?
Runway Able.
Ah, got it.
Look at that crowd, would you? Just like the movies, all waiting to take our pictures, make us famous.
This is better than a Hollywood premiere.
Yeah, says you.
Come on, then. Stick by me.
Can we get a word? Boys, how do you feel? Hey, who's the youngest one of the Colonel, can you tell our readers how they feel at this moment?
Man. All right, easy now.
Colonel, can you tell us what you're doing? Is there anything
Let
in
my
particular
voice through.
Back home with Captain Jim Fitch? Say, any of you guys from Illinois?
So, Captain, how's it feel to be top dog?
How do you think it'll feel when you drop the bomb?
Check gauges.
Gauges, aye.
Matthews, check target intelligence.
Target's confirmed. Aye.
January, confirm your station switching crosshairs.
Aye, we're set.
Flare is ready.
We're good to go. Place is all.
After the initial takeoff, I move forward into the nose of the plane and put my parachute on my chair. I can hear the hum here in the nose, and it's the best place to be. At least I'm away from everyone's prying eyes. I sit back and relax.
Water. I need water, Father. Help me.
Oh, God. What? No, what? Maybe they heard me. No, that's ridiculous. My radio's turned off. Okay, get a hold of yourself.
January. When we get to the IP, we'll move to autopilot, and you'll have maneuvering room for any slight course corrections.
I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this, but there's no way out now. I could have just said I didn't want to back then. God, it was so simple. I am so stupid. Who gives a damn what the psychiatrist or Tibbetts or anyone else thinks of me backing out? But there's no way out now. Well, at least I can stop worrying. It's not like I have a choice but to do it anyway. I mean, it's not like I can go up there and lie. I could say I was secretly promoted to major and that I have new instructions for where we're to drop the bomb. Yeah, that would be good. Somewhere else besides on a city full of civilians. We could drop the bomb in Tokyo Bay. No, there's not a chance in hell I could convince Fitch and the rest that I have secret orders superseding theirs. And I can't very well go up there and wave a pistol around and order them to drop the bomb in Tokyo Bay, because I'm the one actually dropping it. I can't drop the bomb and still order them around at the same time. Pipe dreams!
Captain January, we're going to arm the bomb now. You want to watch?
Sure thing. For a minute there, I thought Shepard had heard me plotting it all out. But I tell myself to relax as I slip out of my seat and head back to the bomb bay to watch them work on the gimmick.
I don't dare wear gloves with this one.
I'd be just as happy myself if you didn't let something slip.
Nothing can blow until I change those green wires to the red ones.
Give me the wrench.
Here you go.
Okay. Breech plug. Hey, red end's toward the breech.
I know.
I'm watching these guys take apart the gimmick like it's no more than a truck in a garage.
All right, let's tighten the breech plug. Now, 16 turns exactly.
Shepard is sweating even though the bay's chilled. He wipes his forehead nervously.
All right, let's hope we don't get hit by lightning. Okay. A few more caps to go, Stone. Come on.
I've got goosebumps watching these men working on this thing like it was a family car. Or the old clunker that needs monthly repairs or something? God, what's wrong with these men? Shepard was there. He was a scientist, for crying out loud. He and the rest of the brainiacs had tested this thing for over a year down there in New Mexico. Why hadn't one of them stopped to consider what they were doing? Why? Because none of them had to drop.
16. Yeah. Good. We got a live one now. Oh, man.
And not even a thought about what it could do. Just another bomb. Looks like one big, long trash can with fins on one end and an antenna on the other. Just another bomb to you, and you don't care. I walk past him, and my hatred's gonna bust all over my face and give me away. My pistol catches on the doorway, and for a moment I have a nice little fantasy about shooting Shepard, shooting Fitch and McDonald, and plunging the controls forward so that Lucky Strike tilts down and spins into the sea like a spent tracer bullet. Nobody would ever know what happened to us, and this trash can would be dumped at the bottom of the Pacific where it belonged. I can even shoot everyone and then parachute out. Perhaps even be rescued by one of the super Dumbos following us.
Hey, you look a little haggard. Want some coffee?
My hand's still on my pistol, but I take it off and reach out. Coffee? Yeah, sure.
Just making sure you're not suffering from hypoxia.
So, you'd rather kill me with the coffee then, huh?
Benton, time to tune the Loran equipment. Give me stats for Okinawa to Iwo Jima for the map table. Oh, wait, I need the straight edge.
Oh, here you go.
They've taken the art out of navigation. They might as well stop making the navigator's dome.
Good old American know-how.
Rendezvous at 5:35, eh, Benton? Over Iwo?
No, I'd say 5:50.
What? Check again, guy. We're not in no tugboat here.
The wind.
Yeah, the wind. Frank, you want to add a bet to the pool?
5:36.
See, he's got more confidence in me.
I can't shoot these men. If they aren't friends, they pass for friends. And at least they're companions. They mean no harm.
Hey, Shepard, Stone, coffee?
Yeah, sure.
The gimmicks ready to kick their ass, huh?
Yep.
So I sigh and I move forward past Haddock's console and up toward Fitch. What am I going to do? I look around the cockpit at all the flight engineers' dials and gauges, but they all show conditions are normal. Maybe I can sabotage something.
Professor, when are we due over Iwo?
5:40.
Matthews' estimates?
Yep.
You better be right.
A thug. In peacetime, Fitch should be hanging around pool tables giving the cops trouble. He's perfect for war. Tibbets had chosen his men well. Most of them, anyway. I walk back. They're having a good time. An adventure. They're all a bit like Fitch. Young toughs. Capable but thoughtless. That's the problem. I think too much.
Hey, I heard this joke, right? A blind man is walking his dog through an intersection, and the dog starts running the guy out into the oncoming traffic. The cars swerve and stop, and drivers scream at him, and the guy, by a miracle or something, makes it to the other side of the street. And he starts to give the dog treats.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So another fella comes up and says the same thing. Why are you giving that bad dog a treat? You should kick him in the ass. And the blind man says, I gotta find out where his head is first.
If I didn't think so much, I'd end up like these guys in another 20 years. Balding, tough, and capable, but without a lot of thought.
A rabbit walks into a haberdasher.
What the hell is a haberdasher?
The sad fact is, they'll still be clinging to this moment for the next 20 years as their heyday. A time when moral issues were simple and they did what they were told. So that as more years pass and they get to be in positions of power, they'll yearn for those moments and talk among themselves about how good it'd be if they could just go back to those moments again. And by that time, they'll all hold positions of power, and they'll be capable of doing just that. Going back to war. Going back to the gimmick.
There's Iwo, and it's 5:31. Pay up, I win.
And to what end? More planes with more bombs, with more young toughs like Fitch? To what end?
3 more hours to Japan, gentlemen.
Hey, Frank, you okay?
Sure. Terrible coffee, though.
Ain't it always?
I tug at my baseball cap and head after the toilet. When I have time to compose myself, I finally feel I can head back out.
Hey, give me them off the top.
Hey, January, come on, play some poker with us.
What's up?
No thanks. I move down between the pilots into the nose.
Hey, good shooting.
I can't reply, can't think, and sure as hell can't target. It's quieter in forward, even though I'm just out of arm's reach of the pilots. I get settled and look out the ribbed plexiglass. I can hear Fitch and McDonald chatting.
Gonna be dawn soon. We'll be a sitting duck. Yeah, flying in the sunlight always makes me nervous. There's something safe about flying at night.
It's dawn, and the whole vault of the sky's pink. Beautifully shifting to lavender and then blue. Pulse by pulse, it goes to a different color. I've always thought that dawn's the best time to see how big the Earth really is. I'm sweating, and I blame it on the coffee. My watch says 6.
We're at the approach leg. Lead plane's checking for weather scout. Cloud cover in Kokura.
Cloud cover in Nagasaki. Looks like clouds cover 6/10 of Hiroshima.
Roger that. Cloud cover 6/10.
Doesn't sound good. Maybe we'll have to cancel the whole mission because of weather.
We'll look at Hiroshima first.
Damn Fitch. My parachute slips in the seat, and I readjust it. I stare at it, thinking of a way out. I quietly push it under my flight suit, and I get up, moving out of the nose and down the back.
Where you going, January?
Oh, it's the coffee again.
Always leaves you going back for seconds.
I'm not going aft this time. No, I make my way to the navigation area, slip down into the central escape hatch, and Matthews and Benton turn back to their stations to watch for incoming signals. I reach for the hatch door because it's all that's in the way between me and freedom. I open it, parachute ready.
January, what the hell are you... January? Frank! No! Aha! See you all in hell! It's your responsibility now! I'm free! I'm free!
Captain January!
Yes, sir.
We're bearing down on the target for the initial point, and we'll settle in for the bomb run. You'll get the coordinates for the duration from Matthews.
Roger that. I can do it. I can get back to the hatch and float down from this flying purgatory like a puff of dandelion. The cool air, the silk canopy of the sky hanging over me like a private world.
Water! I need water, Father. Help me!
Leave me alone! You're driving me insane! Go away!
I need water, Father.
Don't you think I'd feel better bailing? Wouldn't I?
Help me!
All right, I'll think of something.
Lieutenant Stone has now armed the bomb, and I can tell you all what we are carrying. Aboard us is the world's first atomic bomb.
I'd heard of splitting atoms before. Tremendous energy in every atom, Einstein had said. Break one and, well, I'd seen the result, hadn't I? On film.
The power of atom splitting produces an intense energy in the form of X-rays, which when
Killed by X-rays. What's the Geneva Convention think about that, boys?
When the bomb is dropped, Lieutenant Benton will record our reaction to what we see. This recording is being made for history, so watch your language.
Watch our language? Don't curse or blaspheme God at the sight of the first atomic bomb incinerating a city and all its inhabitants with X-rays.
Bearing down on the island of Honshu in an hour, approximately. Damn, I wish that crack in the odometer would have been fixed. It's messing with my readout.
A crack in the odometer. That means we'll have to go back. If the crack gets any worse, we'll have no way to record the mission, and
And I'm playing a game here that I used to play as a small boy. Silly of me to use it now. I'm remembering it. How'd it go? Gotta be careful not to step on a crack. If I step on this crack, I cause an earthquake in Africa. This crack and I'll cause an earthquake to happen in Minnesota. This crack will cause an earthquake that'll swallow up my house. Have to be very careful not to step here. See that car? I have to cross the road behind it because if I don't and I cross in front of it, then that car won't make it through the next intersection before a truck hits it, and so the man driving will be killed and won't be able to invent the flying boat that will save President Wilson from kidnappers. I have to wait for him to pass first. Because everything I do is vitally important and determines the fate of the world. Everything. Because everything I do is vitally important. And everything I do today determines the fate of the world. God, I shouldn't have been such a wise kid.
All right, January, we're coming up on the target. Mark my altimeter readings, 231.
Roger. Wind speed's at 30.
Roger. There's Honshu. Damn. Cloud cover. Matthews, I'm giving over guidance to you. Just tell us what to do.
Bear south, 2 degrees.
January, are you ready?
I'm just waiting.
Adjust to a heading of 265. We're coming in directly upwind. January, dial it down to 231 miles per hour.
231.
Everyone but January and Matthews, get your goggles on.
Yes, one needs to protect one's eyes or they might melt. I checked my watch. It's 8 o'clock here in Hiroshima. They'll be up and reading their papers, sipping tea.
My mark to AP.
AP. Aiming point. The point's Aoi Bridge, a T-shaped bridge in the middle of the delta straddling the city. It's easy to recognize.
Damn, there's a lot of cloud down there. Are you going to be able to see?
I won't be sure until we try it.
We can make another pass and use radar if we need to. 45 seconds to AP.
Don't drop it unless you're sure, January.
Yes, sir.
All right. Here we go. 20 seconds to AP. Keep it right on this heading, Captain. January, we'll stay at 231.
And same heading. January, she's all yours.
10 seconds to AP.
Everyone, make sure your goggles are on and be ready for the turn.
Mark!
My finger doesn't depress the switch. I don't touch it more than a little bit. I can't. I've turned the switch, but I'm not getting a tone. Flipping it. Back and forth. But still, no. Wait a second.
What the hell's wrong?
We're passing out of target range.
Damn it.
Not on this city.
Captain January, what's
Damn you, I will not let it happen again. They did this to Audrey City. Can't you see what it does? Maybe I've dropped without a blink on too many cities in my time. But not this bomb. Not on this city. That's it. It started.
But where will it land?
Captain January!
Hold steady! Bombs away!
See anything?
Nothing.
How long has it been?
10 seconds.
I can't find my goggles, so I clamp my eyes shut tightly. The blood in my eyelids lights up red, then white. On the earphones, I hear the cries coming from the men.
Sweet mother of Jesus. Oh! Another shockwave coming. Brace. Son of a bitch.
It's the end of the world. Guess that solves my problem. There's a long pause, like the stillness before the earth was born. And when I open my eyes, I realize I can still see.
Those were the shock waves from the bomb. We're okay now. Look at that. Will you look at that son of a bitch go?
I look. The cloud layer has burst apart and a black column of smoke billows up from a core of red fire. The top of the column's already our height, and I stare at the fiery base of the cloud, at the scores of fires feeding it, and I wait with pain as the clouds clear and I can see through a gap in the clouds. The city of Hiroshima, untouched.
We missed it. We landed at heading 2920. You hit the forest outside of Hiroshima, Captain.
Oh, I am grinning like a rictus. I sit back in my seat and let a flow of relief fill my body. I did it. Son of a bitch, I did it.
God damn it! I am gonna go down there and kill him myself.
Don't go down there, Fitch!
January, get up here!
Yes, sir. Do you think we'll all be sterile?
Damn, I can taste the radiation. Can you? Tastes like lead.
Should I, start recording everyone's reactions, Captain?
To hell with that!
January, you bastard! You lost your nerve, coward! Go to hell!
You know, I punched him. Happy to finally have a target I can hit. I gave him a nice square whack in the face. I don't get any more in because Fitch grabs me by the collar and pulls me around until we're face to face.
That right? Did you screw up on purpose?
No, you bastard. You know, I let Fitch have it too. Why use preferential treatment? He staggered back from the impact of my fist in his face. Then he lurched at me, ready to beat me up.
Get yourselves together!
Listen, the city was in crosshairs when I flipped the switch, but the first couple of times I flipped it, nothing happened.
That's a lie! There was nothing wrong with that switch. I checked it myself. Besides, the bomb exploded miles beyond Hiroshima. Look for yourself. That's minutes. You did it.
You don't know that. You just get me to a board of inquiry quick. And leave me alone until then. If you touch me again, I'll shoot you.
They'll shoot you for this, disobeying orders. That's treason. Shepard, shut the hell up.
Let's get out of here. I can taste lead, can't you?
He's a lying
Listen, Shepard! I don't know who you think you are, but you better not—
Silence!
So I thought I'd be happy getting out of that cramped plane with everyone breathing down my neck. But now we're in the conference room back on Tinian. And there is no longer the silence of pure air roaring when the men aren't arguing with one another. They've calmed down around me once again. And this time there's no motor to drown out the tense silence.
Captain January?
Colonel Scholes.
I ask you a question.
Could you repeat it, sir? I couldn't hear you before.
Describe exactly what happened when you depressed the switch on the bombing run.
I waited, using Matthew's information, and when the AP was under the crosshairs, I pushed down the switch but got no signal. I flipped it up and down repeatedly until the tone kicked in. At that point, there was still 15 seconds to the release.
Was there anything that may have caused the tone to start when it did?
Not that I noticed immediately, but...
That's impossible. I checked the switch before we flew, and there was nothing wrong with it. Besides, sir, the drop occurred over a minute after we
Captain
passed...
Shepard, we'll hear from you presently.
But, sir, he's obviously lying!
Captain Shepard, it is not at all obvious. Don't speak unless questioned.
Anyway, I noticed something about the bomb when it was falling that could explain why it stuck. I need to discuss it with one of the scientists familiar with the bomb's design.
What was that?
There's going to be an inquiry, right?
This is the inquiry, Captain January. Tell us what you saw.
But there will be some proceeding beyond this one?
Well, it looks like there's going to be a court-martial. Yes, Captain.
That's what I thought. I don't want to talk to anyone but my counsel and some scientists familiar with the bomb.
I'm a scientist familiar with the bomb, and you could tell me if you really had anything, but you don't.
I said I need a scientist, not a goddamn mechanic.
Hey, I don't have to take that!
I say just shoot him!
What is the matter with you?
Order.
You don't know he did it!
Sit down! I'll see your assigned counsel and initiate the court-martial. Meanwhile, you are under arrest on suspicion of disobeying orders in combat.
One last thing, Colonel Scholes. Tell General LeMay that if the Japs are told this drop was a warning, it might have the same effect.
I told you! He did it on purpose!
All right,
I told you he did it on purpose!
Restrain Captain Shepard.
War breeds strange confessions. These occur in the intersections, the places of contact you never thought you'd live to see. Moments you never realized would come to you through long hours. The MPs bring me meals in an empty NCO's office. It acts as my cell since they don't have anything like prisons here at the compound. For For the first few days, all I did was sleep. But then I come to, and I have all the time in the world to think about my actions. It's Wednesday, I think, and the MPs lead a colonel into my room. The man has iron hair and stands stiffly before me. I shake his hand, and he crushes it good. I can see in his pale, icy eyes that he has no love for me.
Captain, I am Colonel Dre. I have been ordered to defend you in court-martial.
Ordered, huh?
To do that, I'm going to need every fact you have, so why don't we get started?
I'm not talking to anybody until I've seen an atomic scientist.
Captain January, I am your defense counsel.
I know who you are. Your defense of me depends on you getting one of the scientists here. The higher up he is, the better, and I want to speak to him alone.
I will have to be present.
Naturally, you're my defense lawyer. But no one else. Our atomic secrecy may depend on it.
You saw evidence of sabotage?
Not one more word until that scientist is here. He was not a happy man. Oh well. This is his cross to bear now. I'm setting this plan in motion, and whatever happens, happens. You know, I don't feel bad about it. Any of it. I mean, I know of all the men, Matthews was probably hurt the most by what I did. The others will get over it, and whatever happens, happens. I had to laugh. Somewhere, someone gave the okay for a little night music. It must be 8, 9 o'clock. Something like that. I have no idea, really. Starting to lose track of the days, even. I think the hours are marked by the MP walking by outside at a given time. But through the lot of it, I find I don't care one bit about the details. I'm confident in a jangled sort of way. The plan's going to work. I did the right thing. So it has to work so everything can be okay. Right? What's that? On the far wall. Tapping. I'm listening to it, trying to figure out what it is. A bird? A small animal trapped, trying to get out? No, too pointed. It's Morse code. Someone's talking to me. N U A R Y J A. It spells January. Who's there? God, I'm rusty. I hope that works. M A T T H Matthews. What do you want?
Frank, I had to come and see you. I knew you'd figure the code out. You were always cool-headed like that.
What do you want?
To talk to you. I've been thinking. Ever since we dropped it on them and you went through all that, it's made me think about things. And I want to clear my own head.
Okay.
It really was a mistake, wasn't it?
God, I wanted to tell him the truth. I can't talk about it, Matthews. Not even with you.
Then it wasn't a mistake. You really did do it on purpose. Did you chicken out?
I didn't know what to say. I just sat there uncertain.
Never mind. Forget it. It's none of my business. Listen, whatever happens tomorrow, I still look up to you, Frank. You made me think.
Gone. Matthews tails it out before the MPs come around again. Doesn't come back that night. What did he mean, whatever happens tomorrow? You know, I hadn't really minded the solitude of my cell until this moment. There was no one here to answer my own question but me. For the first time, I realize I'm in a cell, alone, without answers. What's going on out there? Hey, MP, come here.
What do you want?
What's with the jeeps and the tractor pulling the trolley? What's under that tarpaulin?
They're making another strike. They're gonna do it right this time.
No! 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 You don't need to do this! It isn't necessary! Hello again, Colonel Dre.
This is Dr. Forrest.
I helped develop the bomb.
He's got a crew cut and dressed in fatigues. He looks more Army than the Colonel here. Not much help.
I vouch for this man's identity on my word as an officer.
Great.
So, you had some trouble getting it off when you wanted to. Tell me what you saw.
I saw nothing. I want you to take a message back to the scientists. You folks have been working on this thing for years, and you must have had time to consider how the bomb should have been used. You know we could have convinced the Japs to surrender by showing them a demonstration.
Wait a minute. You're saying you didn't see anything? There wasn't a malfunction?
That's right. It wasn't necessary.
I'm terribly sorry, Dr. Forrest. He told me he had evidence of sabotage. We're wasting our time.
I want you to go back and ask the scientists to intercede for me. I haven't got a chance in that court-martial, but if the scientists defend me, then maybe they'll let me live, see? I don't want to get shot for doing something every one of you scientists would have done.
What makes you think that's what we would have done? Don't you think we considered it? Don't you think men better qualified than you made the decision? Oh, God. What made you think you were competent to decide something as important as that?
Because I was the man doing it, Dr. Forrest. You take even one step back from that and suddenly you can pretend it's not your doing. Fine for you, but I was there.
I've had enough.
Have you ever tried to imagine what one of your bombs would do to a city full of people?
Enough!
I am under no obligation to keep what I have heard here confidential. You can be certain it will be used as evidence in your court-martial.
It was my best chance. The court-martial lasted all of 2 days. My verdict was guilty of disobeying orders in combat and of giving aid and comfort to the enemy. Do you know what the penalty is for giving aid and comfort to the enemy? Death by firing squad. Now, I'm waiting for them to bring me out and finish it. The door opens. But it's not an MP waiting to take me out. It's a little Catholic priest. Tubby, bespectacled, and he looks kind of scared of me. He's rubbing his hands together nervously. What's the matter, Father?
Hello, son. I hear that you turned out the other priest and wondered if perhaps you'd like to talk to me.
Not particularly.
Do you mind if I talk to you?
Not particularly.
My name is Father Patrick Getty.
I let him talk
from
to me.
South Dakota.
It's true I turned out the other priest, but that was only because he's the same chaplain who blessed our mission before takeoff. I find it rather disgusting that he'd make a pity appearance on my behalf. But this guy, I don't know. something about him seems so genuine. When he returns the next day, I let him talk to me again, only I talk back a bit myself. He's easygoing, a gentle kind of soul. Somehow talking to him eases the pain of the second bomb strike and the futility of it all.
Actually, I just finished with my seminary training, and, well, I heard about you and about how you'd turned away your own chaplain, so I came to see you. I admit it's my first assignment to come here, but I'm glad I came.
Oh, well, you won't be so glad to know me in a few days.
You have a mother, or father, anyone I should get in contact with?
Yeah, but I suspect they already know what's going on. Still, if it makes you feel better, you can contact them in Vicksburg. We're the only Januaries in town. You know, I never should have left the farm. Don't know why I thought war was such a good thing to go off to. Must have thought I was gonna change the world or something. Once I used to think I could change the world just by the smallest action. When I was a boy. You know, I used to play this game. I thought it was dumb. Step on a sidewalk crack and cause an earthquake. You know, it's stupid. Kids are like that.
Uh-huh.
But now I've been thinking that if everybody were to live their whole lives like that, thinking that every move they made really was important, then it might make a difference. You're accountable for what you do.
Yes. Yes, you are.
And if you're given orders to do something wrong, you're still accountable, right? The orders don't change it.
That's right.
Well, so they say anyway. But look what happens. I'm like the guy in a story I read. He thought everything in books was true, and after reading a bunch of westerns, he tried to rob a train. They tossed him in jail. Books are full of crap.
Well, not all of them. Besides, you weren't trying to rob a train.
Did you read that story?
No.
It was the strangest book. There were 2 stories in it, and they alternated chapter by chapter, but they didn't have a thing to do with each other. I didn't get it.
Maybe the writer was trying to say that everything connects to everything else. And maybe he meant that one small thing can affect everything else that comes after it, no matter how unrelated they may seem at the time.
Maybe. But it's a funny way to say it.
I like it.
The war is over, but I'm still in this stripped officer's prison on the sweaty island. I've been watching everyone else leave, but I don't get to go home. The only bright spot in all this is that Getty's here. He didn't leave either, though he could have. It all feels so futile. Why'd I go through all the trouble if they made a second strike and ended the war? I did it for nothing. There's only one thing that can save me now. A presidential pardon. I'm waiting for Getty to bring me news of Truman's decision. So, did you hear any news?
Yes. They did not approve your presidential pardon. It seems the president approves the sentence.
That bastard.
Well, let me give you some better news. Given your situation, I don't think telling you matters, though I've been told not to. The second mission, you know there was a second strike.
Yes.
Well, they missed too.
What? What? You're kidding!
No. They flew to Kokura, but found it covered by clouds. It was the same over Nagasaki and Hiroshima, so they flew back to Kokura and tried to drop the bomb using radar to guide it. But apparently there was a genuine equipment failure this time, and the bomb fell on an island.
So we never...
We never dropped an atom bomb on a Japanese city. That's right. And get this. I heard this from my superior. they sent a message to the Japanese government telling them that the 2 explosions were warnings, and that if they didn't surrender by September 1st, we would drop bombs on Kyoto and Tokyo and then where else we had to. Word is that the Emperor went to Hiroshima to survey the damage, and when he saw it, he ordered the cabinet to surrender. So
it worked. It worked.
Yep.
Just like I said it would.
Yes. Just like you said they should do it.
So Truman's going to shoot me anyway, eh?
Yeah, I guess that's right.
He's a bastard, all right. And proud of being a bastard, which makes it worse. If Roosevelt had lived...
Oh, it would have been different. Yeah, maybe so. But he didn't. Cigarette?
You smoke Lucky Strike? You haven't got a Camel?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, that's all right. That's awfully good news. I never believed Truman would pardon me anyway, so mostly you brought me good news. Ha! They missed! You have no idea how much better that makes me feel.
I think I do.
Yeah, so I'm a good American after all. I am a good American, no matter what Truman says.
Yeah, you're better than Truman any day.
You better watch what you say, Father. I got nothing but looks of contempt ever since I dropped the bomb outside Hiroshima. I betrayed my crewmen. I was scowled at by MPs, colonels, and scientists. But I look in Patrick Getty's eyes, deep past his spectacles, and into the depths of his gray irises, and I see something else. He's looking at me as if I'm some kind of hero. That wasn't exactly right, but seeing it, I see an inkling of things to come. Today I stepped on a crack, and I changed the world. Dawn on Tinian Island. The sun's turning the sky to pink and lavender as the MPs open my door.
Are you ready, son?
Yes. But before I go, I want to share something with you. Come here. You see that? The whole vault of the sky is pink, pulsing to lavender, and then blue. I've always thought dawn's the best time to see what the Earth is really like. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see now. Do you want last rites?
No. I won't need them this morning. The MPs lead me to a line of men holding rifles and standing before a hastily constructed execution shed. One MP actually shakes my hand. Thankfully, Getty stayed, but no one else did.
Cigarette?
They load one of the guns with a blank cartridge, right?
Yes.
So each man in the squad can imagine he may not have pulled the trigger.
Yes, that's right.
But I know.
Prepare Hood! Ready? Aim!